Welcome to WCW Worldwide. Scott Hudson and Bobby the Brain Heenan, 1 week away from Castrol's Great American Bash on pay-per-view. Brain, we've got so much information about the Great American Bash still to come. We've got a new world heavyweight champion in Kevin Nash. Sting and Vampiro, that situation out of control. Before we get to Worldwide right now, listen to Mike Tenay and Tony Schiavone.
And thanks very much, Scott Hudson, Bobby the Brain Heenan, Tony Schiavone. 3 exclusive matchups this week. We will see Juventud Guerrera in singles competition. We'll also see the Mamalukes and a man who's in the midst of a very strange situation with the Cruiserweight title in Crowbar.
I guess Crowbar will go down in history as the man who lost the Cruiserweight title to a woman when Daphne became the Cruiserweight champion recently. I wonder how it's going to affect the mindset of one Crowbar.
Has to. Tony? That's what we're going to have this week on Worldwide. Now let's send it back in the backstage area to Mean Gene Okerlund. Gene, take it away.
Mike and Tony joining us this week on WCW Worldwide. The tag team of Johnny the Bull, his partner Big Vito. Collectively, they are the Mamalukes.
Hey, how many times we got to tell you? It's the Paisans. Paisans.
I've got them, Paisans.
Go ahead.
All right, the Johnny the Bull, the two of you have been conspicuous as of late by your absence. Where have you been?
You talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Big Vito's been over at the county jail visiting the boss. But now we're back here in WCW here to take care of a little business. Tell him, Vito.
The boss, what does he mean by that?
As everybody knows, the boss is in the big house, causes some crimes that we can't talk about on TV. But we got the lawyers working on it. We got some connections. We're going to get you out soon. Getting to what's happening here in WCW. We took a little vacation. We're back on the scene. Chronic, tag team champions of the world. Congratulations. Hey, you won something. Big deal. Nobody likes you. Harris Brothers. Who cares? Harlem Heat, you ain't doing nothing for us. But what it's going to come down to is this. The Paisans are going to get back what rightfully belongs to them, the tag team straps around our waist, because that's where it looked best, and that's when we were on top. And that's where we will always be, on top, with the gold around our waist. Gene, I'm getting a little hungry. How about we go get some espresso, a little vino, how about some lasagna, some cannolis? I'm sure you can put it away.
How about a little gefilte fish, maybe some lutefisk?
No, Gene, that's for somebody else. No cavilta, no huda fish, no matzo balls, no nothing, all right? We want some vino, espresso, cannolis, Gene. All for you, kid, and it's on the cuff.
On the cuff. Sounds good to me. Tony and Mike, let's get back to you.
Smell you guys later. Let's go.
And thanks very much, Mean Gene Okerlund. Seems as if Gene's having an awfully good time this week, isn't he?
Gene's going to enjoy a buffet while we bring you WCW Worldwide Wrestling, I guess.
Tony, Mamalukes in tag team action this week in this exclusive matchup.
And, of course, some information I understand during the course of this telecast about the Great American Bash, about Ric Flair, and, of course, about our new WCW World Heavyweight Champion.
It is the Great American Bash. It's June the 11th, exclusively on pay-per-view. More about that. Now let's send it back to the studio, to Scott and Bobby. Tag team action in this exclusive match direct from the arena. Many top tag teams competing in World Championship Wrestling today for the big trophy, the World Tag Team belts. A lot of depth in the tag team roster of WCW, Tony. Dominated as of late by the Brian Clark, Brian Adams, the team known as Chronic. These two young men, that youngster right there, Chris Harris, and his tag team partner, Cassidy Riley, looking to make a name for themselves, and they are going to face former tag team title holders, Big Vito, Johnny the Bull. Here come the Mamalukes, your countrymen.
No, they're not my countrymen, Mike.
What? Tony Schiavone and the Mamalukes, they're not your countrymen?
Okay. One good thing about the Mamalukes is now, and I know you would agree with this, that when Big Vito and Johnny the Bull come to the ring, that the Cisco Inferno is not with them.
That's a bonus for all of us.
It doesn't come over and bother us at our broadcast table here at ringside. The fact is that I don't think they ever needed the guy. Now the Disco Inferno feels he's a part of the Filthy Animals, and he's just as out of place with the Filthy Animals as he was claiming that he was the manager of champions.
Boy, what a great point that is. He was always the one that self-promoted himself as the manager of champions. And now there's just something very strange about him aligned with the Filthy Animals, whether it's his look, the way he acts, or maybe just a combination of both.
Now, earlier in this telecast, you heard Gene Okerlund ask Big Vito about this shirt of his, this tank top that said County Jail, and obviously The story is that when they paid a visit to the county jail to check about the big boss, that they brought this back as a souvenir. I'm not so sure I believe that. Maybe Big Vito got that himself after a little tour of duty at the county jail as well.
Don't think I've ever heard of a county jail that has a gift shop, Tony.
I don't think so either. But because the fact is, we have not seen the Mamalukes in about over a month, so maybe Big Vito was held up for a little while, so to speak.
Johnny the Bull in the ring now with Chris Harris, and Harris fights out of the corner with fire. Look at those left hands to the side of the head that rock Johnny the Bull, and he sends him directly into the turnbuckle, but then he runs in and he's caught with a back elbow. Johnny the Bull measures him out of the corner, takes him down to the mat with the spin kick.
Johnny the Bull, here's a cover.
2 count from referee Slick Johnson, and only 2.
Johnny the Bull has proved himself to be one of the most agile big men we've seen in many months, maybe many years in WCW.
And when you factor in that Johnny the Bull is basically just still a rookie here in World Championship Wrestling, still competing in his first year with WCW, it's even more amazing. Big Vito attempt at the high vertical suplex, and Chris Harris tries to fight him off, but Big Vito able to use his power and his strength to take Harris over with authority.
That was not a bad move by Harris. He knew that he was near the top rope. He tried to push off on the top rope to get Big Vito off his feet, but Vito used his surprising power to keep the man over for that suplex.
You'll see a little bit more deliberate offense from Big Vito than Johnny the Bull in the reversal by Harris out of the sunset flip, and a 2 count from referee Johnson, and as soon as Harris gets up, he's immediately taken down to the mat with the running clothesline by Vito, who turns things over to his partner, Johnny the Bull.
Mike, of all the big matches we have for our fans on the 11th of June at the Great American Bash, how about the Asylum between Big Papa Pump and Tank Abbott? That Asylum we saw recently on Nitro is one of the more dangerous, one of the more bizarre-looking type events we'll ever see.
2 and only a 2 count. Cassidy Riley able to come in and break it up. You know, that match is being billed as in Scott Steiner, Big Papa Pump's Asylum. But when you take a look at that cage, and when you think about Tank Abbott and the years that he spent in the Ultimate Fight, I think Tank Abbott's going to have quite an advantage over Big Papa Pump, believe it or not, just because he's familiar with the surroundings.
Familiar with the surroundings of an arena, if you will, that keeps the fight confined within. I think Tank Abbott, though, is familiar with any type of surrounding, be it in the back, in the locker room, in the... Good move by Cassidy Riley. It was a great move. Be it in the parking lot, wherever it is. Tank Abbott's well at home any fighting condition.
Now, this young man, Cassidy Riley, with an explosive attitude as soon as he got the tag. Went for the back elbow. Tried to spring into that move. Big Vito a step ahead of him, able to avoid it. Now takes him out of the corner and just drops him directly in mid-ring.
Some of the veterans will tell you sometimes, as here's a cover.
Hook of the leg, a 2 count before Harrison to break it up, and now all 4 men in the ring. Trouble for referee Mark Johnson trying to maintain control.
Sometimes you can get just too fired up, and I think that's what happened to Riley that time when he finally got in the ring.
And now the Mamalukes going to try and run him together. Harrison Riley able to avoid him, but then the Mamalukes take him down with double clotheslines. Out to the floor goes Chris Harris. Both men now turning their attention to Cassidy Riley. They set him up in the corner. Rights and lefts from Johnny the Bull. What's Big Vito have in mind? Boot to the midsection, doubled him over.
Whoa!
Oh, what a move there. Dropped him with the DDT. Goes for the cover, hook of the leg, and a very confident, cocky Big Vito scores the win for the Mamalukes.